Hey, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, man, you know this does not work without you guys. So let me get open for business here, and let me wake up the football gods. And before I get on to our Dallas Cowboys, I want to talk about last night a little bit. Forgive me, I'm a little bit off kilter this morning. I can't find my big coffee mug. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a smaller cowboy mug, but I'm really a creature of habit. I'm used to doing things a certain way, and when things don't work out that way, I kind of get off track and don't do quite as well. And one other thing, too, I need your help a little bit. Um, Lately, I've been losing things, and when I've lost stuff and can't find it, I kind of get a little bit of a panic type of attack. And I don't know if I'm getting dementia or Alzheimer's or what, but just keep an eye out on me. If you kind of notice some things that are a little bit off, kind of let a brother know because maybe I need to go to the doctor, and not that there's a cure for dementia or anything, but it's just nice to know that I'm finally losing it. But last night, the Rams lost their second game in a row. Now, right now, you've got Seattle 4-1, which has a home field advantage, a place that you don't really want to go and play. Now, one thing I will say with the score being 30-29 is what you see is neither of these two teams are great on defense. Seattle gave up a lot of points to New Orleans, losing to them with Teddy Bridgewater playing and things. But that's at least the Achilles heel on these two teams. Now it's interesting because, of course, the Rams had a chance to win, missed a field goal in the last few seconds. But the amazing thing is we're told how you got to have a quarterback that can sling the ball. That passing game is everything, the be all, end all. They throw out stats and say, well, when Zeke Elliott doesn't rush for 75 yards, Dak Prescott is 1-8. You know, they don't tell you that Carson Wentz, when they don't rush for 100 yards, is 1-13. They don't tell you that when New England rushes for 100 yards, that Tom Brady is 49-1. And they constantly tell you that the running back is not important, the running game, it's about slinging the rock. Now, it's important to be able to throw the football, but it's more important to be balanced. Because as you go through the numbers, Jared Goff threw for almost 400 yards last night, one TD. Russell Wilson threw for 268. The difference being that the Rams couldn't rush for 100 yards. Todd Gurley only had 51 yards. We don't know what's happened to Todd Gurley, but he's only averaged 3.4 yards a carry last night. The difference is Seattle rushed the ball for about 180. And this is a trend throughout the NFL right now. Because last week, Jared Goff threw for over 500 yards. You think if a quarterback's throwing for 500 yards, you should win. But no, they couldn't rush for 100 yards and they get blown out by Tampa Bay. Take a look at Green Bay last week against Philadelphia. Green Bay had Aaron Rodgers throw for 420 yards, Carson Wentz 160. Yet the Eagles come up with the victory, and the difference being is Aaron Rodgers was their leading rusher at 45 yards. The Eagles rushed for 180 yards. When you are able to run the football, you can run out the clock, you can control the game, and it's more important than it is not. You keep hearing things like Colin Cowherd say, the Cowboys only win a certain way with Dak Prescott. Well, that may be true, but they've won the second most games in the NFL over the last 3.25 years. So if that works for you, continue to try and win that way. Why would you say, okay, well, this works, 75% of the time. Let's go ahead and try and do something that only works 25% of the time. That's the definition of just being stupid. So if you have a formula that works a certain kind of way, which is a certain kind of way that we won during the 90s with running Emmitt Smith, it wasn't that Troy Aikman didn't have a running game when we were winning Super Bowls. It wasn't like we didn't have a running game when we had Roger Staubach. It has been the Dallas Cowboys' identity forever. Great running back and an efficient passing attack. It's won 5 Super Bowls. Something to be said for that. And the last I checked, when you look at the quarterbacks last year that led the league in passing, the Big Bens, the Matty Ice, these guys with tremendous yards and touchdowns passing, they weren't in the playoffs. The running game is more important than they give credit to. Understand, you need to be balanced. And one other thing too, generally speaking, when you're unable to run the football, generally things aren't going right in general in football. So, not going right in football leads me to Aaron frickin' Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. Now, the good news for our Dallas Cowboys is everybody except for Tyron Smith is back to practicing. Tyron Smith, of course, has a high ankle sprain. Doesn't look to be playing, of course, this week. Doesn't look. He's not going to play this week. Maybe next week against the Jets, although if you get a win this week, you got the Jets the following week, I say rest him again for that stretch run. Play him against the Eagles the following week. But let's deal with this week for now. Michael Gallup was a full participant yesterday in practice. He's going to be good to go for Sunday, barring a setback today. Amari Cooper, limited, back at practice, dealing with the heel, ankle issue, something with the foot, but is expected to play on Sunday. La'el Collins, limited in practice, but will be playing on Sunday. Tyrone Crawford, limited in practice, but doing better and doing work, could be playing on Sunday. Antoine Woods, knee, limited, doing work at practice, but back at practice. Who did I miss? Did I miss anybody? Did I miss anybody? Did I miss anybody? I think that's it. That's all of the walking wounded. So we at least have people, be it not 100%, back on the field to take on Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, his Achilles heel is the running game, as well as their defense has given up a lot of yards. 3 of the 4 games they've given up over 150 yards on the ground. So you look at that and say, that's the place to attack them. They'll tell you that their pass defense is good, but here's the thing. If you can run the football against somebody, you're going to run the football a lot more than you're going to pass it because you say, that's the weak point. Now, the Dallas Cowboys need to get back on track. They need to go ahead and start running the football again. Maybe not on first down every time. Come out, throw the ball, loosen up the defense, and then start running Zeke on second down, okay? And start using play action. For whatever reason, we got away from what was working the first 3 games, which was throwing on first down and using play action over 40% of the time. Instead, we started running on first down, and we play action less than 20% of the game against New Orleans. I don't know if they were worried about changing plays up because of the sound noise in New Orleans or what, but we got to get back to that. We'll have some home cooking, so hopefully we can hear. Now, Aaron Rodgers, I believe, has won 6 out of his 7 games against the Cowboys, including 2 playoff games. Whew. Yeah, that's not good. But, again, I'm not thinking, in my mind, I know they're 3-1. I look at that defense of theirs. I think it's a little overrated for what they've been able to do and the teams they face. When you face Kirk Cousins and Kirk Cousins and the Vikings, and when you face Denver, it's not exactly offensive juggernauts along with Chicago. So those numbers are a little bit deceptive. And with the exception of the Eagle game, Aaron Rodgers hadn't been Aaron Rodgers all season. But to finish this segment up this morning, I'm going to listen to Skip, and Shannon on their take on this game.
Sure do. Got them on speed dial.
Really?
Press 1, win Cowboys. That's what it does, Skip. Got them on speed dial.
Really?
Absolutely.
It's that easy. You just push a button.
Yeah,
and it's over.
yeah, speed dial.
Speed dial.
He needs a win. Cowboys.
Okay.
6 of his last 7. That's what he's done.
That is correct.
That's what he done.
Y'all beat him the first time his first start out. Y'all beat him. He just learning the rope.
2008.
Yeah, way back.
Ancient history.
Like you tell me, that was ancient history.
Yep.
Way back.
Yep.
More recently, 6 of the last 7.
Okay.
Y'all took them L's.
Yep.
Last 2 playoffs, those are the ones that hurt.
They did.
The playoffs. Skip, we've seen this guy time and time again And there have been times that you guys have had the better of the teams. I believe your 2016 team that went 13-3, you were the better team, but they had the better quarterback. And sometimes when your teams are close and the team that has the better quarterback, they're going to win because he'll find a way to win, especially if you let the game come down to a final drive and they need a touchdown or a field goal to beat you.
Yep.
More times than not, if they got the superior talent at the quarterback position,
Yep.
they're going to do exactly that. And can you explain this, Skip? 8 starts, 15 tubs, two INTs. Is he throwing a lot of those balls away? Because, you know, Pro Football Focus say he's on pace again to shatter his record of throwing away.
He is.
I tell you,
He was on that pace on that Thursday night. He was throwing it away like crazy.
he's on pace again. 15 touchdowns and 8 starts. That's almost
He
two.
has perfected the art of not risking interceptions. Now, does he make big plays? Not anymore.
Yeah, he does.
Oh.
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
Against you guys, he makes a lot of big plays. Lots of
Okay.
big plays.
All right.
Look, in the playoffs, the last time you guys, the catch that wasn't a catch, you know it wasn't a catch. Everybody out there knows it was not a catch, and you still hung up on that it was a catch, and you were going to Seattle.
You're the last holdout in the world.
No, Skip, you
who
know it
doesn't
wasn't.
see that it was a catch.
Skip, it wasn't a catch. And even though you didn't get you was going to get Aaron Rodgers got the ball and drove right down the field, so it wasn't going to matter anyway. But this last playoff game, Skip, you do know he got the ball on his own 25 with 35 seconds left in the ball game. You do know he took a sack on that drive. And 3rd and 20. Skip, that was special. Can we see that, DJ? I know you got a beat for me right quick. Give me this diss track. Look at this, Skip. Can you see this? This is beauty. This is a thing of beauty.
I'm going to save my commentary for my turn.
Okay.
Come on.
Now, we've had a lot of quarterbacks that came on the show, and they talked about this. They said, now, at the time, Drew Brees, Eli Manning, we've had a lot of quarterbacks say, there's only one quarterback that could have made that throw, and that was Aaron Rodgers. Little did we know, Jenny, at the time, there was a guy that was playing in Lubbock, Texas. Patrick, my homeboy, was coming along the way.
Are you from Lubbock, Texas?
You stop it.
Actually, from Tyler, but that's okay.
Basically.
Yeah.
Tyler, Texas.
there was-
It's
a lot
next
of
door
filler
to
in this
Glenview,
thing.
Georgia, right?
Glenville.
Neighbors.
Glenville. I'm sorry, Glenville.
But there was a guy that was coming along that could also make that throw. But at the time, Aaron Rodgers, even Brady said, nobody made that throw with him. He made that throw on you guys, Skip. So, Skip, look, I wish there was something I could tell you, say, well, well, he's always had the better of the teams and, yada, yada. No. He has not always had the better of the teams. There have been times you've had the better of the teams. But the one thing that's always been unmistakable, they've had the better of the quarterbacks. Whether it's been Romo, whether it's been Dak, or whomever your quarterback's been, 12 has always been better than yours. And that's a fact. And that's going to be a fact again on.
Pump the brakes there a little bit. I want to go back to that playoff game in 2016. Dak Prescott went toe-to-toe with them and had a comeback from behind touchdown that in most cases would have won. Aaron Rodgers, I have to admit, made an incredible play with really no time left, although there was a couple of holds in that play. But in that game, the Cowboys were down, I believe, 21-3, and the Cowboys came back to take the lead with a few seconds left. Dak Prescott in that game threw for 302 yards, 3 TDs and 1 interception. Now, Aaron Rodgers, he passed for 355 and 2 TDs and an interception. So I won't say that Aaron Rodgers outplayed Dak Prescott in that one. I'd say that's kind of a draw. Aaron Rodgers, of course, had 50 yards more passing, but Dak had another touchdown pass and had to come from behind. Had the Cowboys maybe not gone down 21-3, I think that we might have won that game. But or maybe had one of the holding calls been called by the offensive lineman, that play wouldn't have been, and we would have had that win, and we'd be looking at this totally different. But then again, it seems to be there's a lot of revisionist history out there. But go on, Shannon.
Sunday.
I think your argument just ran out of gas, so it's my turn now.
Go ahead.
Right? Thank you. You killed enough clock for the show already. I'm fascinated by this question because my first takeaway from this question is the God's truth is that Dak Prescott has actually had Aaron Rodgers' number.
No.
That actually, the truth is, as Jenny said, numbers don't lie. Actually, Aaron has always brought out the very best in Dak Prescott because just the numbers don't lie. Average QBR for the 3 games, Dak is at 80, Aaron's at 62. Touchdowns, interceptions over the 3 meetings between Dak and Aaron. For Dak Prescott, 9 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. For Aaron, 6 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. Which is better? Numbers never lie. That's what you said, right? Okay, so I think the numbers are screaming Dak, Dak, Dak. But I'm going to give you this. If you want to make the case that Aaron Rodgers has somehow cast a spell on the Cowboys,
there you
that
go.
he's put some hex on the Dallas Cowboys, I can give you that. And if you want to tell me that on speed dial by hitting 1, he gets his witch doctor, then you got me on that because this is witch doctor city every time they play.
Nope.
What has happened? Let's just go back to these 3 games. Let's go back to the Dez catch game. Can we see the Dez catch?
It wasn't a catch.
He caught it. He ran with it for 2 steps. He put it in his left hand because Dez is left-handed and tried to slam it on the goal line. And the referee puts his arms up. Look at the referee.
We're launching the 29.
Okay, we don't have to relive all that, but you get the gist of that. Just bad things happen with Aaron Rodgers. Hopefully, we can start turning this trend because Dak has actually had good games against Green Bay. And with the way the defense is playing for Green Bay, I think you're going to see Zeke Elliott able to run the football. And I think once you're able to run the football, as they say, the Cowboys can only win in one certain way. Well, when you got a great offensive line and a great running back and that system works, I'm good with continuing to do that. So we'll have to wait and see. We'll have more, of course, on this as news goes through. As always, friends, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and hit that bell, okay, and make sure that you get your notifications so that way when news breaks on the Dallas Cowboys, you're informed. I'm Mark Holmes, and I'll see you tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern.